Hello and welcome to Essex Opportunities Live. Essex Opportunities Live is a monthly live show with the aim to provide information on employment and training opportunities. Last month we heard from Morgan Sindel, CITB and Sector about the opportunities available within construction. During tonight's broadcast we'll be looking at the sport and physical activity sector in Essex for Essex residents. Now, throughout the pandemic, the government prioritised the importance of physical activity, and this has created an exciting opportunity for the sector. It is key that sport and physical activity is managed and delivered by a diverse range of people who are inclusive, highly skilled, and able to join the movement in ensuring everyone enjoys the benefits of an active lifestyle. Careers in this growing opportunity are widely varied. The sector is made up of 6 core industries, and there are countless opportunities for fulfilling fast-paced and interesting careers, and you're going to hear about some of them later on this evening. Remember, if you've got any questions for our speakers, who will be available shortly, please leave them in the live chat which is situated next to the video player. And once you leave your question, one of the experts will get back to you as soon as possible. And don't worry if you're watching this back on demand, the chat is available 24/7, so please just ask. Now tonight we're joined by 3 people who work in different roles within the sport and physical activity sector. Holly is part of the Mid-Essex relationship team from Active Essex. Active Essex is the physical activity and sports partnership for Essex, Southend and Thurrock, and are one of 42 active partnerships in England who work collaboratively with local partners to ensure the power of physical activity and sport that can transform lives. Adam joins us as a director of Essex Professional Coaching. They are dedicated to developing, encouraging and inspiring individuals through the power of sport and physical education. Essex Professional Coaching, or EPC, employ and deploy a number of sports coaches who deliver various activities including school sport, holiday camps and academy sessions. And last but not least, Marcus, who is the Sports Facility and Development Manager for Tendring District Council. As the authority responsible for providing services across the district of Tendring, ranging from benefits, support to leisure and tourism. This includes the running of leisure centres and swimming pools. We're now going live to Holly to hear about opportunities across the sector, give you an insight into what different roles entail, and providing an overview of your routes into and through this exciting sector.
Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, so as Stuart mentioned, I'm Holly and I work for Active Essex. And as part of my role, I'm really fortunate to co-lead our people, culture and skills work, which has a really strong focus on career pathways, opportunities, and we look to work with local employers as well as education providers across Essex to ensure that there's really strong links and that the pathways are the best that they can be for all of you guys. You can read more about that work via the Active Essex website. Just to note to say that any links or resources that we mentioned today will be put into the chat for you to follow up on. But before we get into speaking as a 3 about the roles, our skills and qualifications and all the great things about the sector, I just wanted to give a quick overview and set the scene. So firstly, I just want to mention CIMSPA. CIMSPA are the Chartered Institute for the Management of Sport and Physical Activity. And they're the professional body for the UK sport and physical activity sector. So definitely one to be aware of, go and check them out. They're committed to supporting and developing and enabling us as professionals, as you as students, graduates, looking to come into the sector to succeed. And as a result, inspire our nation to get active. So check them out. They have recently launched a jobs board as well for the sector nationally. So something else that is new and will probably be useful. So CIMSPA have defined our sector into 6 core industries. And within those industries, there's many professional roles. We'll explore some of those in more detail in a minute. Some of the roles might overlap into 2 or more industries, but might have specific specialisms, so audiences that they work with or environments that they sit in that define where they sit. So those 6 industries are exercise and fitness, health and well-being, performance sport, community sport, leisure operations, and adventure sport. And so under those, there's loads of roles that sit within them. And we are in the process of creating a careers magazine that breaks all of those industries down, looks at all of the roles underneath them and what each one might entail, and a bit of a case study around them. So keep an eye out for that. It will again be on the Active Essex website under our support section. Just wanted to highlight as well that under those 6 core industries, there's some really great roles that are integral to our sector that you might not immediately think of when you're exploring jobs in the sport and physical activity sector. So roles around sports or community development, which kind of sit around some of the roles of Active Essex, marketing communications, business operations, project management, fundraising. All of those roles are really integral to our success as a sector, and we need specialists within the sector to do those roles. So although might not sit within SIMSPA, the Institute, as a professional body, really integral to it, as well as other professions like PE teacher, sports journalism, physiotherapy, sit within other professional bodies, but integral to our sector and sit within our industries. So a huge range, a massive sector, and to bring that to life a little bit, hi, Adam and Marcus. Thanks for joining me today to speak a bit about the sector in more detail. Adam, if I come to you first, just going alphabetically, do you want to just speak about your role, your organisation, and some of those responsibilities?
Sure. So afternoon, Holly. So my role at Essex Professional Coaching is to co-direct the business. So that includes focusing heavily on setting our future strategy and bringing the right people into the organisation to support that development. So we're quite fortunate at Essex Professional Coaching is that we've got 2 directors working together on different aspects to grow the business. So that's really helped us over the past 5 years since we first initially started the business. And the main areas that I focus on sort of a day-to-day basis is the people, the financial and the operational aspects, and how that all ties in together essentially.
Great, thank you. And Marcus, similarly, just a bit about your role, your responsibilities.
Yeah, hi Holly. So I'm based at Clacton Leisure Centre, so for Tendring District Council. So we've got 3 main sites that we operate, but I'm based at Clacton. So I kind of oversee the centre as a whole. So we've obviously got swimming pool, gym, sports, all variety of different activities taking place. So kind of oversee the day-to-day operations via the sort of operations and managers on site. Also driving the business forward in terms of new activities and kind of linking into that kind of sports development side of thing. Linking in with like Active Essex and partnerships to kind of bring new exciting sort of community schemes, but also different activities into our leisure centres as well.
Great, thank you. So I guess in a way similar roles, but in different industries. So Marcus probably really in that leisure operations, and Adam within community support and linking with education. Marcus, do you want to just talk about some of the roles that you maybe your centre has to bring in, and when you're recruiting, what kind of roles are there, opportunities available for people to link in with?
So I think the main one is probably lifeguards, is probably what most people spring to mind when they think of a leisure centre. So that's probably the core where most people start. So quite an easy course to kind of obtain if you're a fairly confident swimmer. It's kind of a week's course, and then kind of staff come in on a kind of casual basis. But obviously we've got the gyms, you've kind of got your fitness instructors with your kind of level 2. And that's kind of where I started off, kind of in the fitness route. But you've also got your swim teachers, your swim coaches, but then you've also got your front of house, your receptionists, your sales, your memberships. And I think the thing we've found lately, is definitely how we kind of multitask, multi-skill staff. So they may come in as a leisure attendant where they're working on poolside, but then they may move into the sort of sales reception side of things and start to pick up that role. And I think it definitely helps the kind of workforce being able to pick up various roles within the leisure industry, and also sites experience, not necessarily being based at one site. We have 3 main sites, so they get that experience at sort of covering different areas, new staff, new people, just to develop their kind of skills and knowledge.
Yeah, perfect. Loads of transferable skills there. And Adam, similarly, the kind of roles that I guess you spoke about, kind of mainly coaches within your industry. But what do you kind of qualifications do you look out for when you're recruiting for those roles? Skills, knowledge?
I think one of the biggest things, Holly, to start off with on that is it's more around the individuals, really. This is what we look for as an organisation. It's what are you like as an individual? Do you meet our core values as a company? We feel that within our organisation, we've got lots of very good people that can help to develop individuals alongside that coaching pathway. But really, we sort of scale it all back and start from really trying to get to know the candidates and potential employees as individuals, and get to know, what makes them tick. Are they aligned with our values? And then from there we can move forward. So I know you've touched on some of the roles already that across the sector, within our business as well, there's lots of different opportunities for people. So, whether you're coming with coaching experience, whether you're just starting off and you've decided that you want to be a coach and you just go into that pathway, or, whether you want to go on to manage, lead, support and mentor coaches as well. So we've got, a vast array of options and pathways out there. And it's something that we're keen to help anybody that comes into our business, really, that you don't get just signposted as a coach, but there's actually a pathway for you to progress as you build experience and as you look to develop your career.
Yeah, that's great. Really useful, Adam, actually, in terms of those. I think what's vital is that pathway, understanding where people can enter into our sector, and then once you're in that pathway through our sector into whatever people may want to do is really vital. And maybe as a sector we've not made that clear enough before. So yeah, that's great to hear. What would be really great, I think, to hear is just, what do you enjoy most about your role? And maybe what's most challenging about your role? Adam, I don't know if you want to kick us off first.
Yeah, sure. I think as a coach, you can be limited with the impact that you can have if you're working with groups of players. So I think one of the most enjoyable things about my role and how it's sort of grown over the years is that it's actually allowed me to have, and us as a business, to have a greater reach and impact on a larger number of individuals than maybe would have been possible if I'd have stayed being a coach as such, which I did in my early career. So I enjoy getting up every day, going to work with the challenge of building a world-class organisation, and that gives me flexibility, but it also helps me to never really stop learning myself as well. So I think they're the 2 or 3 really key things that I enjoy about the role that I'm currently doing. Most challenging, when you're running a business, there's often some highs and there's often lows. So I would say one of the most challenging parts is not getting too upset when things don't pan out how you plan them, and then also not getting overly excited when things are going well. So it can be very up and down. So, and sometimes getting comfortable with that is a process that takes a while. But I mentioned previously as well around never stop and learn, and I think when you get comfortable with that and really start getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, that's the key to growing as an individual.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Learning is, the world changes around us so quickly, so it's so vital that we continue to learn. Thank you. And Marcus, similarly, just kind of what do you enjoy most about your role or being as part of this sector in general?
I think the key for me is, and I've generally come from kind of a sport fitness background when I first started off, is just getting people active. I think I've seen leisure centres, you've got young kids in swimming lessons, or like my daughter attends gymnastics, but then on the flip side, you've got your 78-year-olds who come to our Active for Life classes on 3 times a week and have kind of got that social aspect. And I think especially in response to kind of the pandemic, especially the kind of social side of things and physical activity very heightened now of the importance of it. And I think, yeah, it's just the diverse kind of activities, and whether that's sport, fitness, gym, swimming, that we kind of provide across our 3 sites, and just those people, allowing them to come in and get active, get mobile, and some that have maybe not ever exercised up and they're in their 50s, 60s, but medical conditions as well, kind of catering for those as well. Challenging, I think from a leisure perspective, and most facility managers will probably say the same, it's probably when things go wrong, similar to what kind of Adam said, if things aren't working as they should be and customers aren't happy, and it's kind of relaying that, and sometimes it's totally out of your control, unfortunately, and it does impact on your customers if certain facilities aren't available, but you try your best and get them resolved as soon as possible, and kind of keep them updated and find an alternative kind of where you can. But yeah, definitely the physical activity and getting people active is probably the most thing that I enjoy 100%.
Great stuff, thanks. Yeah, I think similarly for me, I think sport is really entertaining. It gets everyone together. It's great to watch, great to be a part of. But I think you can sometimes forget that sport and physical activity has the ability to absolutely transform lives. So for me, that is the best thing about being part of this sector. And I guess challenging for everyone to realise that. But yeah, an amazing thing to be a part of in my eyes. Just before we, I guess, speak around some of those pathways, has each of you got a little nugget of advice that you'd offer to anyone looking to work within either your role or within the business or roles that you recruit to? Adam, I don't know if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with coaching, because obviously that's how I started my career as well. And I think, if you're looking to get into the coaching industry, my tip would be to take advantage and get as many different experiences as you can. Go out there, go and meet people, connect with individuals. If you're younger and you've got more time, can you use that time effectively, especially while you're studying as well, to make yourself as valuable as possible and really to get yourself as much experience as possible. And I think from a business perspective, you can't run a successful business doing everything by yourself. So my advice on that would probably be, again, to just don't be afraid to reach out and look to others for support, because they probably got some knowledge and some insight that you can learn from, instead of doing it the hard way and doing everything by yourself. So they would be my two sort of top tips.
Great, thank you. And Marcus, your little nugget of advice for anyone looking to come into your industry or your role?
Probably similar to Adam in a way, but definitely to kind of make use of different roles, different experiences and qualifications. I started off, like I said, as just a fitness instructor to start, but then kind of developed called lifeguard, duty officer, and kind of different pathways were kind of led for me in different kind of qualifications and stuff. And there's a kind of vast amount of what pathway you kind of want to go into within leisure. I think it's definitely just to make the most of those skills, those knowledge, and develop. And obviously with us, we operate 3 sites. So also getting out to those 3 sites, working under different management, learning from different people, and interacting with different people. I think it's definitely an industry, like you touched on, that you'll have a little nugget of people that you kind of get on really well at one site, and then at another site and certain staff. And I think it's just with the leisure so vast, leisure, sport and fitness, is just developing your knowledge in those different pocket of areas, especially as a facility manager, because you kind of support the gym, you support the swimming pool, you support the dry side activities. It's kind of just developing it, that you've kind of got an overall knowledge and perspective of kind of the industry, really.
Great, thanks guys. So I think overall that's definitely taking full advantage of any opportunities that maybe come up throughout any point in your education or personal lives, and reach out. I think if we go into kind of actually how we're getting into careers in sport, and there's a wide range of pathways in terms of from apprenticeships, and again Simpsborough have set standards there, so go and check those out, from BTEC college, A levels through to a university degree. But I think what's really important is to explore the role or the industry that you're interested in, and to understand a bit more about the best routes to go into. Look at Simpson's professional standards and speak with employers, speak with us, look at jobs that are listed and see what are they looking for, what are the skills, what are the qualifications, what are the pathways that those jobs out there are suggesting, and then what suits you best. We're all different, we're all people, we're all individuals, so some pathways will suit others better. So it's about what suits you best, but grabbing hold of those opportunities, really. As I mentioned, there's the Careers magazine, which we're working up, and it delves deeper into some of those pathways and what industries might be better for different pathways. But my best advice is to pick up the phone, drop an email, and speak with us as employers to understand what might best suit you. Before we finish off, Marcus, Adam, is there anything else you just wanted to add to that?
I don't think so.
No, all good.
Yeah, I think probably Adam's similar. It's definitely about kind of finding kind of that path that you kind of want to take, but also being open to a different path. I think if you'd have asked me 5-10 years ago, would I be where I am now, because I was here previously, and would I be a facility manager at the site? Potentially not. The way the path's kind of guided me, and experiences and opportunities that have arisen, it's kind of where my path's taken me. So I suppose it's having that open mind of your first, like you said, initial step into sport and leisure or coaching, for example, with Adam, but then opening up to where you then might have a different path, if that makes sense.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, 100%. I'd echo that. I think, there's so many, like you've touched on already, Holly, the opportunities that are out there. There's so many avenues now and doors that can open for you that sometimes that in itself can be a bit daunting. So, speaking to people that have been there, that have had that experience, and getting that experience yourself to really recognize, well, what do I like doing? What do I not like doing? I think, for myself, I know I didn't really, my pathway, I didn't really know what I wanted to do even when I left school, and even when I left college, to be honest. I went and studied a degree and I still didn't really know where I was going to go or what I was going to do. So I speak to some candidates now and they're really driven and they know the line they want to go down, which is great, but that's not the pathway for everybody. So the more exploring you can do, the more experiences you get, that will help to shape you and for you to have an understanding of what you like to do, really.
Yeah, I was very similar. Had no idea. So yeah, it's all about the experiences. I think, yeah, if you've got the opportunity to do some volunteering or just speak with some employers, it's really key. So I guess next steps, we'll make sure that our contact details are put in the chat. So do get in touch with us. We're happy to have a conversation, check out our website, see what we're about. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us this evening. Yeah, we look forward to catching up soon.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
A huge thank you to all the professionals for telling us about the opportunities across the sport and physical activity sector. As you just heard there's plenty of opportunities to get involved and to apply and get part of this growing sector within the Essex region. Now, if you've got any questions for the professionals you've heard from tonight and the team behind the scenes, then please leave them in the live chat, which is next to the video player. And remember, the chat is available to use 24/7, so please leave your questions there at any time.